Hi, it's Diederik Gelderman here, speaker, trainer, author of 4 published books and founder of Turbocharge Your Practice and Veterinary Productivity Academy. I don't know if you understand how important languaging is. The small nuances, the small changes that you use with what you say and how you say it can make incredible differences to the outcome of the conversation and, interestingly enough, to the culture of the practice. Languaging is something that I discuss and coach and train my one-on-one clients with and in and on all the time. And I spend many days in practices teaching receptionists, nurses, veterinarians the importance of languaging and how to get the message across between the team and also between the team members and the clients. Now, part of languaging is also body language, and at some stage in the future I'll do a video for you on body language and share some really simple strategies and techniques and tools and tips that'll improve the outcome of your conversations incredibly. Body language training is one of the things that we spend a whole day on in my 4-day NLP workshop, but I'm not having one of those this year, so keep your eyes peeled to next year and it'll be worth coming along. So let's talk about some really simple languaging outcomes and strategies. And the first thing I'd like to ask you to do is not to think of a purple tree. So did you manage not to think of a purple tree? I bet you did, and I bet you it was a 2-step process. I bet you that first of all you had to think of a purple tree to then eliminate it or not think of it. So what's the point here? The point is, and please look at all the references on Google and all the psychology journals and everything else like that, and you'll see that your mind cannot process a negative. Or let me rephrase it. The only way it processes a negative is by thinking first of all of the positive and then putting the word not in front of it. So if you say to a client, yeah, cool, no worries, what do they have to do? Well, they have to think of the worry to then think of the not. No problems. They have to think of a problem and then think of the not. So when you change your languaging in your practice and get rid of those, those double negatives, those no worries, there, no problems, and all those sorts of things. And by the way, for the international people listening, these double negatives are a huge cultural thing in Australia. It's one of the things that we almost, have a pride of place in our language is the use of those sort of phrases. This is far less common in South Africa, New Zealand, UK, Europe, and the States. So this doesn't apply as much to you guys. It does to a degree, but it above and all applies to us Aussies. So let me suggest that you change your languaging and change your phrasing, and rather than say things like no worries or no problem, say it would be my pleasure, or it's my pleasure, or it would be an absolute pleasure, or whatever phrase that you come up with. So write down all the no worry type phrases that you're currently using, and then find a positive way to say those same phrases. So many practices that I go into, we will choose to eliminate those double negatives in those terms. And the first experience that I had with that was in my practice in about 2001. And we decided that we wanted to eliminate all those terms in our practice. And what we chose to do was have a $2 jar. So anytime anybody used a double negative, used a no worries or things like that, then we put $2 in the $2 jar, and that money was donated to charity. Now, our practice with a team of 30 odd people at that stage, 30, 35 people, turned around within 3 months. The change in culture was palpable. Absolutely, totally, completely palpable. It changed the way that we interacted, it changed the outcome of the conversation, and it changed the client's perception of it. It was amazing that clients came in and said things like, I know there's something different when I talk to you guys, but I can't put my finger on it. So that was the feedback. And I've had that sort of feedback again and again and again in practices that I've worked with. So that's one strategy I want to talk about today. I want to give you a second one because I want to keep this short and simple. And above all, I want you to take action on these strategies. So 2 simple strategies today. The second strategy is the use of the word but. Now, if I say to you, vet, nurse, receptionist, whoever you are, and let's assume your name is Jody. Hey Jody, you did a great job, but what happens to you? I'm going to, if you're like most of the people that I talk to, what happens is the shutters come down, the blinkers come down. Uh-oh, it's that but word, what's coming now? And it's the same with clients. Look, the injury isn't too bad, but, or the leg can be fixed, but the blood tests show that your pet has pancreatitis, but the blinkers come down, the shutters go up, whatever the phrase is that you like to use, you're thinking, uh-oh, what's going to happen now? So again, if we go back to languaging patterns and we go back to psychology, there is a term called the agreement frame. And the agreement frame has 3 separate phrases that you can use. So they're all called the agreement frame, and you can choose to use one of these 3 or you can make up some of your own. So the agreement phrase goes, I appreciate and I respect and I agree and. So let's go back to Jody and her job performance analysis, if you like, or whatever you want to call that, performance review. So, hey Jody, you did a great job in reception the other day, but, uh-oh, says Jody, uh-oh, what's coming now? So, hey Jody, you did a great job in reception the other day, and, so rather than saying, hey Jody, you did a great job in reception the other day, but I need you to clean up that reception counter before you go home because it just, was a pigsty, and when the receptionists come in the morning and the clients see all that, it's a joke. Hey Jody, you did a great job at reception today, and could I ask you before you go home next time to clean up that reception counter so it's sparkling and clean, and when the receptionist and the clients come in tomorrow morning, they can see how much we care. Okay, so I agree and, I respect and, I appreciate and. So if you get rid of the word but and start to use the word and, appreciate and, respect and, agree and, you'll find your conversation changes. If you stop using the word but with your clients and your team members, then the whole conversation will change. Now, but negates everything that's come before it. So when you use the word but, you negate everything that's come before it. Now, sometimes you deliberately want to do that. So sometimes you want to negate what's come before. So when you use the word and, you don't negate what's come before, you simply build on it, as in the example I gave you just now. When you use the word but, you negate what's come before. Hey, let's look at a vet example now, and we'll talk about a surgical, let's say a spay. So you might say, and we'll say Jody again, Jody this time is the vet. Hey Jody, that spay took you an hour to do. And I think, and I'll bet you thinking that was extremely slow and you should have done it more quickly. But when I started doing spays, and I had graduated, for only the period of time that you are at now, I actually took an hour and a quarter. So I think you're doing really well. So that's a bit of a lame example, I know, but it's the first one that came into my head. So use the word but and with volition. Use the word but when you do want to negate everything that's come before it, and use the word and when you want to build on what's come before. So they're your 2 challenges for this week: to get rid of the double negatives in your practice and to learn to use the words but and with volition. That's it from me today. See you next week. Bye.